Welcome back to the art room, Maple Glen families and all Upper Dublin families. Another week of art in the art room, and today for our activity we're going to make a really cool paper weaving like this one, or like this one, that I made out of just materials that you can find around the house. So this one I used a brown paper bag as my loom, and you can see it, it's like the main color. And then I used actually 3 different types of paper for the strips to weave through. Again, this is Charlie. Say hi, Charlie.
Hi.
She's eating her tuna sandwich for lunch. You're killing 2 birds with 1 stone, as they say. That means you're doing 2 things to be productive. You're eating your lunch and you're doing an art activity. Okay, so you can have your lunch when you're doing this activity. So this one I used 3 different types of paper for the strips and the brown paper. So that's 4 different types of paper that I used. And on this one I used 3 different types of paper. I used blue, actually, well, I'm not counting the background paper, but I used blue paper for my loom. I used scribble paper that I made using markers, and I used tin foil. That was pretty neat. It's hard to cut tin foil in the strips, so you might want to get help when you get to that part. But you can use anything to make your strips. Newspaper, magazine, paper.
We did a magazine, like an art magazine.
Yeah, I used this old art news magazine, and I just went through the magazine looking for a really cool page that had color on it. It could even have words on it, it doesn't matter. But then I cut that page out and I used that to make my strips, which you'll see when we get to that step. But the first thing we do when we make a really cool paper weaving is we have to make something called a loom. And a loom is what you're gonna weave your strips through. So this is just one that we finished before. This is black paper, and you can do your loom using any color you want. But this is our loom that we made when you open it up, if you're done making it. This is the loom that you'll need to start weaving. Okay, and you can make this weaving any size you want. You can make it small, you can make it a little bit bigger. Hey, if you have really big paper, like big table paper, you can make a really big weaving that way. Oh, it can be big.
Chess thing, like
oh, maybe you can make like a checkers board or a chess board. Yeah, that'd be really cool. So, to get started, we are gonna make the loom. Okay, so in a minute, Charlie here is going to show you how to make it, okay? And then we'll be back. Got it? All right, we'll be back. All right, we're back. Say hi, Charlie.
Hi.
Okay, so we have a black paper, and again, you can use any colored paper you want. But for our loom, we're going to make our loom black. So the first thing she has to do is take that paper, and she's got to fold it in half.
Like
Hamburger fold. She's folding it up, and she's going to crease it. Okay. Do you remember the next step, Charlie? What we have to do?
then, like a 2 finger.
Yeah, like a 2-finger spacing down from the top where it opens up, because it opens at the top. You want the top to open, but about 2-finger spacing down. She's going to make a nice pencil line that goes right across the top, and it doesn't have to be perfect, but she's going to draw that line that goes straight across. 2-finger spacing. Not using a ruler. You can use a ruler if you want, but you don't have to. Okay, so she drew her line, and it's about 2 fingers all the way across.
You also big
Yeah, I got big fingers. Okay, now we got to find the middle of this paper. So the easiest way to find the middle of that paper, what do we have to do to it, Charlie?
Fold it.
Fold it in half. She's going to fold that paper in half to find the middle. And she's going to make that sure it's nice and even. And then she's going to crease it. And then she's going to open it up. And we just found the middle of the paper, okay? Not only do we need to find the middle of the paper, but we need to find the middle on this side and the middle on this side. So how did we do that, Charlie?
We did, so you take this side, put it where the line is. That's why we made that line.
Yep. We're going to fold where the line is in the middle and crease that. And then she's
and
and on the other side too. And then she's going to do what?
Open it?
Open it, yep. And then you should see 3 lines, okay? Very flat too. It's helpful to like really flatten it like that, okay? All right, so she's got 3 lines. She's gonna start in the middle and she's gonna make a pencil line, starting at her top line, not the very top, but at the top line, she's gonna make a pencil line that goes all the way down to the bottom, right on the fold. And she's gonna do the same thing for her other folds too.
Like the creases.
The creases, yep. Those folds have pencil lines starting at the top line. Then we need more lines. So I told her to make a line in the middle here, a line in the middle here, a line in the middle here, and a line in the middle here. But those lines always have to start not at the very top, but at the pencil line. All right? So, and you don't need a ruler. It doesn't have to be perfect. We want these to look handmade, and I always say if you want it to look perfect, if you wanted to make it look like it was made by a machine or in a factory, then use a ruler. But if we want to make it look handmade and unique and
That's
like it, right, like an individual made it, then we do it with our hands. Okay, so she made all of her lines, if you can see them. Okay, now all she has to do is start, get a pair of scissors, and she's going to start at the bottom of the paper.
Oh, it's sticking.
And it's sticking. This is our placemat, which we'll use soon. But she's going to start at the bottom and cut those lines all the way to the top.
Not the top.
But she's going to stop a little smidgy past that top line. Very good. And she's going to keep doing that.
Where the lines are.
Almost done. She's still cutting her lines. And hold it up so everyone, before you open it, hold it up.
And like you can see the lines on the other side.
Yeah, it's a cool way to make a hula skirt too. If you were making like a skirt for like a doll or something, look, it's like a hula skirt. Okay, but
Ew.
now she can take that and she can open that up. Why don't you open that up? And our loom is done. It's going to look like this loom. Very cool. Just going to lay it flat. Pop. Well, before we lay it flat, just like that. Gonna lay it flat. Now, when we weave, we're going to be using strips. Okay, so here's some sample strips that I made. Different types of strips made from different types of paper, whether it's maybe you have pattern paper at home, or this is just from a magazine. And this one has nice colors on both sides, so you can kind of choose which side you want to use. That's a magazine strip.
I would choose this side.
Yeah, that's a lot of nice color. And we also have, well, that's a tinfoil strip. Okay, if you want to use like tinfoil pieces or pretty much anything. Anything. Any kind of paper. We can make our own paper too, like not make the paper, but we can make our own creative paper. If we take a piece of white paper and we lay it flat, and this is kind of what I did on this one here. If you can see kind of like the scribble strips that have a lot of color in them. Show them what to do.
So you take like as many like the markers you like and as many as you can hold. And then you open all the caps.
I've seen some of you guys do this during free draw. You like doing it. And sometimes I like you to do it. And other times I say things like, oh, it's kind of a waste of paper. But now's the time to do it. You just take markers and
Scribble
all over the paper. And you can go off, if you have a placemat like we have, you can go off the sides. You kind of want to fill that whole paper up. So just go off the sides too. Let it hit the placemat. Go off the page. Yeah, and come back on. Hold it flat.
So the purple is kind of running out.
Go off the top too. And off the corners and everything.
Where's the pink?
Press them down.
No pink.
Here's another thing. Can I do one? Oh, that's dry. Here's a bright pink. It's kind of running out too. Our supplies aren't so great.
There's a lot of blue in here. I'm going to take the blue out.
Take the blue out? What about this?
There's a lot of blue and red.
You know what you need? It needs a little green, I think.
No, it needs pink. Yeah, it does need green. Let's take this tiny marble. Put a little green in it.
Ooh, that does look nice, that green. Go off the sides. Make the green go off the side and come back on. Fill the paper, as I say. Always fill the paper. I'm going for this darker green.
So
I'm just gonna go like...
I'm gonna go for a daffodil purple. It's really cool. Look at that.
We're like the famous artist Jackson Pollock. Except Jackson Pollock wouldn't use markers. Jackson Pollock would use paint. And he would flick the paint onto the canvas.
I'm using orange now.
I think we're almost done. I can see. It's better than mine. Okay.
That's a lot.
All right, hold it up to the camera so they can see it.
Whoa. Like, you want to fill out the whole paper.
Yeah. See that?
The whole paper.
Now that is going to be cool when we cut it in the strips. So we have this to cut in the strips, and we have my daughter Charlie picked out this paper to cut in the strips. Now, you kind of want your strips straight. So what I would do is take your paper, like this, take it long ways, fold it the other way this time. Fold it in half. Crease it. If you can get some help doing this, if you're not so great on your folds yet, have your mom, have your dad help you. So we have one fold. Then I'm gonna fold to the middle, just like we did on the loom. Kind of like this, kind of like doors. Okay. And I did that because these strips would be too thick. That's not good. Then I'm gonna fold them. Well, you could do it this way. You can close the whole thing. And then if you can do this, you can get some help. Fold it in half one more time and crease it. So I just closed it up like that so it looks like one strip.
Yeah, because that was a little thick. It would be like...
Yeah, too thick of a strip. But when I open this up now, I have all those lines. You can see them better on the back of the paper. So all those lines you can cut. Carefully follow the lines and cut your strips. So you cut that one, and I'm going to fold this one up. Okay?
And then you cut that one?
Yeah, I'll have to, while you're cutting, I'll have to go get another pair of scissors. So let me fold this one first. All right, well, let me fold it first. Or do you want to get the scissors now? Okay. I'll fold this while she's doing that.
Chase is just...
That's my dog right there, Chase. He's looking for the tuna sandwich. You want to say hi? Come here. No? Okay, stay there. Here. No? He's shy.
Here.
Okay. See, I did the same thing. I'm going to open it up, and now I'm going to start cutting. So it's going to take us a little bit. Bear with us, but Charlie and I are going to cut all of our strips. All right, we're ready to weave. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to take the camera again, and I'm just going to put it on top, looking down, and I will guide Charlie through the proper way to weave, and I'll guide you through the proper way of weaving. Weaving is nothing but a pattern of either starting under and then going over, or starting over and then going under. In fact, you have to do both, because whatever you did on the last strip, if you started under on the last strip, on the next strip, you have to do it opposite. You have to go over. And if that doesn't make sense, don't worry. We're going to show you right now. So get ready. We're going to learn how to weave.
What do I do?
All right, we're back. So we have our loom here, and you can see here, these are the cuts, right? So you can kind of like close it if you had to, like that. And Charlie is starting with the pattern, this one. So she's either going to start by going under, or she can start by going over. But it's always over and then under the next one, and then over the next one, and then under that one. It's a pattern. So show us what you want to do on that one. You're going to start under or over? You're going to go under?
I don't know.
All right, under, and then she's going to go over.
I don't know.
Then she's going to go under that one. And then she's got to pick it up a little bit.
Oh my gosh.
And go over. And then she's going to go under. And then she's going to find it. And then she's going to go over. And then under. And then over. And she's going to pull it all the way through so it sticks out a little bit on the top and the bottom. Just a little bit on the top and the bottom. Yeah, you got to scooch it over too. So she scooched it all the way over. And is it sticking out a little bit on the bottom? Is it sticking out a little bit on the top?
Yeah.
Yes. That's what you do. And now she's going for her next strip, which,
Can't beat it.
That's her marker strip. So she's making it a pattern. So here's what I was talking about though. Pause for a second, Charlie. If this one started under, see how that one went under first? The next one can't do that. The next one has to start on top, over, and go under the second one. He doesn't want to do the same thing that the first strip did. He wants to start a little different. So she's going to go over the first black strip. See, it's going over, and then she's going under the second one. And then she's going to continue her pattern.
Over, under. Hey, where is it? Over, under.
All right, then she's going to push it all the way down. And if she did it right, it'll start to look like, kind of like a checkerboard. You can see. Everything's opposite, okay? So it looks like a checkerboard, and she's right. It's sticking out on the top a little bit, just so it doesn't fall out or go back in. And it's sticking out on the bottom a little bit. And what are you on to now? What color or what strip?
This one.
Okay, so since you're doing a pattern, this is easy because all the pattern ones look like, all the patterns start under. And all your marker ones are going to start over. So she's going to continue doing this. Repeat, 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 repeat until she can't fit in any more strips. Now the last strip might be a little tricky. We might have to cut that one skinnier. Or cut a new one that's skinny and make it fit. Because you want it so tight that you can't fit any more in. Alright, so she's going to keep going. Can you squeeze one more in? If you can squeeze.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's good. So we might not have to cut any. As many as you can fit in. Sometimes the last strip won't fit. So sometimes you got to make that strip skinnier. Just cut it in half. But you might be able to fit that last strip.
Yeah.
And sometimes people like that an extra one. If there's only like a little bit of space left, you cut a really skinny one and you squeeze in one more skinny one. And that way you know your weaving is really tight and these strips won't fall out. If the strips fall out, then something went wrong. Something happened. Like not enough strips or the pattern got a little bit goofy and messed up. But you want it to be really tight so nothing falls out. And I can tell Charlie's is pretty tight because the last one's pretty hard to fit to put through. She's on the last piece, the last little section.
It's hard. Oh my gosh. Can we do it? Can we do it? Yay!
Okay, hold it flat on the table. Let's see what that looks like.
I like that one. Can
That's a
we
good
cut
one.
the...
Yep. What we're going to do now, we're going to cut the extra off on the top and the bottom. But before you do that, Charlie, you got to make a decision, like make a creative decision. On this one I did, let me lay this one down first. I didn't cut them, I left a little bit hanging over because I liked it. I did that on the top too.
I don't want to do that.
And what we have to do when we're done cutting, we have to glue them down. Glue down the tops with a glue stick on the top.
We don't have a glue stick.
And on the bottom. I got a glue stick.
You get a tiny one.
Okay, so we're going to do a little bit of gluing and we'll be back in a minute. See you in a little bit.
There we go.
All right, so Charlie, you can see how she cut one side.
Whoa.
Yeah, look at the back. Whoa! That's cool. That looks like a checkerboard. So it's almost like double-sided art. Okay, so she's going to cut the pieces on this side now, and then we can talk a little bit about gluing and presentation, and then it's then we're almost done. But look at all these extra strips we have too. We cut a lot of strips. So the really cool thing about the extras is you can make another one, or you can make some art out of your strips too. Bracelets or whatever you want. But she's going to cut the ends off.
And I did.
And now what she's going to want to do, and this is like optional, this step. I do it, some people don't. Sometimes these little strips get bendy. So why don't you eat your sandwich a little bit while I glue them down. Oh no, they all popped out. Glue them down.
It's not tight enough.
I got it. So I'm gluing. Oh, I hate when that happens. The glue stick stuck to the strip and it popped this one out. Oh, I fixed it. Alright, that's glued. That side's glued. And then this side is glued. Gluing my strips down, gluing them down. And then I flip it over onto that cool black and white side. And I do the same thing. What are you going to use your fancy scissors for?
Like the edges.
Oh, you want to cut? Okay.
With my favorite fancy scissors.
All right, let me show them that.
Favorite.
Your whole case of fancy. We have fancy scissors that my daughter likes to use.
These are the box of them. But my favorite is the purple because the design is so cool.
So by fancy scissors, my daughter means if you want to kind of put a decorative edge on your paper weaving. If you have a nice piece of like presentation paper that you can staple or glue your art to, some people like to do a decorative edge. And these special scissors, which some of you already know from the art room, when you cut with these, they will add a fancy edge to your paper. So you're just going to do it on the sides, right? All right, so she's going to cut the sides to make them nice and fancy. And I'm going to clean up.
There's one side done.
Oh, my stuff's falling under this. Marcus.
What?
Scissors, glue,
And
scissors,
now.
strips, fancy scissors.
This is the basic side. Basic. This is more cool.
Colorful, right?
Yeah.
Really colorful. So you have it. A really cool paper weaving that we made using paper that we had at home, okay? It's helpful that all the paper is around the same size. And it's helpful that when you're weaving your strips, that the strips are a little longer on the top and bottom. If they're too short, it's really frustrating because they always fall out of the loom and just pop out. It's annoying.
If I use like, here, let me get a tiny piece of paper. Like an origami piece of paper.
Yep, we couldn't weave this through, even if we had a strip.
But you could make this a loom.
Oh, you can make a little, oh, that's a good idea. You can make a little paper weaving using a couple pieces of origami paper if they were all the same size. But if you try to take a strip like this and weave it through a bigger paper, do you think it's going to go all the way through?
No.
It's not going to reach. It's just going to fall out. So just when you're picking your paper, all about the same size, and your strips should be a little bigger than your loom. So there you have it, a paper weaving. I hope you enjoyed today's art lesson, and I would love to see your weavings online, or you can even tape them to your window or give them as a gift to your dad for Father's Day. which is coming up in a couple weeks. Okay, so have fun with it. Paper weavings. Bye-bye. All right, we're done.
Ow! Do you like this? Do you?
Yeah, I love it.
Do you like the clothes for me?
Reminds me of that like music video when they fall through the sky.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like she was doing something and she went
Like he was gonna jump into a pool, but then it was like he was like